low-calorie starvation diets, detox cleanses, fat-burning teas. Why are these outdated diet trends still around even though we know better? From Wits and Weights, I'm Philip Papen. This is Nutrition Science Daily, bringing you the latest in nutrition, fat loss, and health science all in under 5 minutes. A new report from dietitians and nutrition experts highlights the most harmful and outdated diet trends that people still follow. This was an article I found that I thought was interesting. I wanted to talk about it today because there are things that do not work at all. There's overwhelming evidence they don't work or they can cause harm, and they are still pushed for marketing and financial reasons. If you want sustainable fat loss, better body composition, if you want a diet that actually works, you want to avoid these trends. The first one is the 1,200 calorie myth. Because for decades, 1,200 calories per day has been touted as the magic weight loss number. But unless you're a child, this is way too low for most adults. And it really depends. For some small, petite adults, it actually could be fine, but for most, it's not, because consistently eating far below your energy needs, and that's what matters, is what is your metabolism, what is your maintenance calories, your energy needs. If you are under eating, it could lead to muscle loss, which does many harmful things, including slowing your metabolism further. It could lead to hormonal imbalances, metabolic adaptation, increased hunger, increased cravings. You then can't sustain your results. It's all the things you get from being in a diet, not realizing that there are things that you should be doing to hold on to muscle and to give you enough energy to thrive even when you're in a diet. And so most people trying to lose fat should eat as much as possible while still in a reasonable deficit. And for the average person, this is probably going to be closer to, say, 1,600 to 2,000 calories, highly dependent on their size and activity level. But the point is, there is no magic number. It's going to depend on your level and the deficit you're trying to be in, and you don't want to go so aggressively that you're all of a sudden in a crash diet. All right, number 2, cleanses and detox diets. I don't know why these are still popular. I see people who I thought I respected all of a sudden push a cleanse. Listen, your liver and kidneys already detox your body. You don't need a juice cleanse. You don't need a supplement. Detox diets are usually just starvation diets in disguise. They lead to water weight loss. The weight loss is going to come right back. And then if they involve extreme restriction, they can cause you to have electrolyte imbalances or lose lean muscle mass or deficiencies in nutrition. I mean, you're just basically starving yourself and replacing it with a drink. That's all you're doing. If you want to detox, eat fiber, drink water, get enough protein. That's it. That's how you detox. All right, number 3 is fat-burning teas and supplements. I mean, come on. This is just another shortcut folks are trying to take because no pill, tea, supplement is going to make you burn fat faster in any meaningful way. Most fat burners, you know what they are? They're caffeine. They're caffeine in a fancy package. They might give you a temporary boost in heart rate, and they do nothing for actual fat loss. Some might have, herbs that have some mild association with metabolic rate, but they don't make a lick of a difference. They really don't. They're dwarfed by your calorie intake. And then worse is that some contain unsafe stimulants. Many of these have been banned over the years, but some might still have them, and then they cause heart issues, anxiety, stuff like that. So if a product promises some sort of effortless fat loss, and you're not just lifting weights and managing your calorie intake, run the other way. Number 4 out of 5, we're doing 5 today. Number 4 is fear of carbs. I'm going to put that into a category on its own. I did an episode about this last week in our Nutrition Myths week. I think it was the first or second episode. And carbs have been demonized for years. Not all carbs are bad. In fact, I wouldn't say carbs are bad at all. Carbs are just carbs. They're not good or bad. It's going to depend on the context. Ultra processed foods that happen to contain carbs aren't great. But those aren't carbs. Those are fats, carbs, sugars, all rolled into a pre-processed package. Totally different than carbs like fruit, potatoes, rice, oats, which are incredibly beneficial, full of amazing energy. They fuel your workouts and your training. They help with your muscle building as well as muscle recovery. And they help with satiety, especially when paired with fiber, which a lot of these carbs have fiber, and protein. And, when we talk about low carb diets, when I have a client in a fat loss phase, their calories are low enough that the carbs are actually quite low, but it's because of the calories and the trade-offs with protein and fats. It has nothing to do with the fact that carbs, cause fat gain or whatever. In fact, on high enough calories, your carbs can be pretty darn high and you'll still lose fat. All right. Carbs don't cause fat gain. Let's stop vilifying them. And then number 5 is more generically, weight loss as the only goal, right? Many diet trends are always focused on losing weight, and it's still the predominant messaging. Particularly with the new weight loss drugs, of course, you see billboards everywhere, and it's like lose all this weight really fast, and they ignore the real goal, which is fat loss while maintaining muscle, not weight loss. Even if you are on Ozempic or Mounjaro or whatever, you still want to do it the right way at the right rate and maintain muscle by lifting weights and eating protein. Crash diets that just slash calories without resistance training and protein are going to lead to muscle loss. And then you're going to have a real hard time staying lean long term. You're actually going to get more and more body fat over time, even if the weight on the scale stays the same or goes down. So instead, what do we focus on? I'm going to sound like a broken record here. Sustainable nutrition, strength training, getting enough protein so you lose fat, not just weight. All right, so if a diet sounds too good to be true, that is the litmus test. It probably is. Real sustainable fat loss comes from everything we talked about today: a slight calorie deficit, not starvation, adequate protein intake to maintain and build muscle, consistent strength training. I usually put that at the top of the list, to be honest. And then a diet that you can stick to for life, even if it has a combination of whole foods and some processed foods or indulgences in there. All right, if you want some more real science-backed nutrition advice, hit follow on the show so you don't miss tomorrow's episode. Please hit follow. We're trying to grow. The more followers we have, the more people are going to see the show on Apple and Spotify. So please hit the follow button and text this episode to a friend. Tomorrow, we're covering one of the most underrated nutrients for metabolic health. One of my favorites, magnesium.